So I would request everyone to be very attentive, and I hope that you have allowed them to talk or message, ma'am, so that because this session has to be interactive because in complete way because there will be many questions, I believe, when I start my talk. So I
Yes.
would request everyone to kindly discuss their doubts. They discuss about the things that we are talking about. So I'll straight away, without taking much more time, I'll move to the next part. So in this particular talk today, we'll be talking about the impact and visibility of scientific research, which are evaluated in different ways. There are so many ways for the research to be evaluated. So the aspect that why we are trying to measure this research impact is pretty important to be understood. And as far as Chitkara University is concerned, I believe they are very much into this particular part of how to increase their visibility, research impact visibility, and how to make sure that the university um, is pretty visible to everybody, right? So looking for university funding models is the first part that we must always understand, measuring the productivity of the university research output. And the next important part is basically, I'll just use a pen over here, publishing where one publishes is more, right? That is most important. A researcher needs to citation analysis, right? Or researcher citation part is very, very important these days. And well, while applying for a job or a grant, this particular aspect is very, very important, right? Your proposal might get rejected because of the improper citation done by you people, right? So how is your research being evaluated? This is something that we need to understand, and how this evaluation is done by different agencies, I should say. So publications are basically essential part of this scientific communication as far as we people are concerned. So there are different methods to analyze these things. And the analysis is needed because what we want to do is we want to determine the productivity and the quality of the research, right? In addition to its impact and visibility, this is the second part, right? The first part is we want to determine the quality of the research done by you. So citation analysis can be used to compare basically these research units in comparison to the institutional level, right? So I'll talk about this while I show you this particular diagram. So if you see over here, the university rankings these days have become very, very important, right? And everybody is talking about these aspects, right? So this scientific publication over here has a huge impact on university rankings, and that is why universities are encouraging you to talk about these things, right? So then is recruitments done on the basis of your scientific publications, research funding being done on this basis, your CV getting improved, benchmarking, the performance assessment, research management, and research assessment exercises being done. So all these factors have an impact on the research part that we people are doing, right? So what is the objective of this particular workshop, I should say, or this lecture, I should say. I should have written the lecture part. What today I'll be talking about is I'll be referring to few things. The first part is to increase the visibility and accessibility of your research publications, right? Basically your research papers. The second important part is to increase the chance of getting publications cited. This is again very important. Most of the universities these days are forcing people to cite their own university papers, right? So that is not a good practice, what I feel. But yes, you can increase your citations by different other ways also, right? Universities can follow this. You people can also follow the same thing. I'll be talking about these things in detail. Now I'll be showing you all these aspects. The third important point is to disseminate the publication by using different research tools. So I'll be showing you a few one over here. I know many of you might be using them also, but how to effectively use them, right? The next important part is to increase the chance of research collaboration. Now, this is what we have been lacking these days, and this collaboration part is missing around basically for different aspects, I should say, right? We are reluctant enough to collaborate with each other. I don't know why, but this is something that can be taken care of very effectively, and this can improve your research part also. This can improve your networking. This can improve the ranking of the university also. I don't know why they are not worried about this aspect. So this presentation outline basically talks about introduction. That is what I told you, how research impact is used for, how research has an impact, what impact can be measured, and research visibility. That is different IDs that you create, right? So how research has an impact and what can be measured is something that I've written over here. I hope everybody is familiar with this thing. So publications per year per author is how the measurement is done. Publication type. Now that is articles, conference papers, dissertations, monographs. You can add patents to it. I'll be talking very specifically about patent also. The program organizers have requested me to specifically talk about how patents can be implemented in this. So I can refer patents also over here, right? Collaboration between researchers, groups, and different organizations in different countries, I should say, right? And who is citing whom, what, and when, right? So I'll show you certain things. You'll be surprised to see all those aspects, what I'll show you. The impact can be measured by different ways. That is individual, group, institution, subject area, geographic region. That is what we bibliometrics is talking about. And then individual article level, that is altimetrics, right? So all these terms are basically used in measuring the research impact of an individual. So what is bibliometrics in this case? It is used to examine the scientific publication activity. I'll just resume. The most cited publications are linkages between the citing articles, right? So it can be used to study the impact of basically the publication, an author or an institution. Bibliometric indicators like journal impact factor, H indexes, right? Very important these days, right? They're used to measure research impact and the the productivity or the production activity, I should say, right? And how these citation analysis database work. This is normally the Web of Science that we take into picture, Scopus, Google Scholar to some extent, right? And SCI or Science or ESCI, right? So citation indexes are basically used as the database for us. Even Mendeley, to some extent, is being referred. Now, this table talks about the journal and country index. Now, this is something that we never bother about. I've taken this data from scimajor.com. You can verify this on your own also. The number one country in journal and country rank is US, with documents of this nature. And citations, have a look over the number of citations that this country is having, right? Citations per document 21.6. Now this rank goes down, right? And I find India to be much below than even Brunei and Timor, right? So we are lacking into these factors, citations per document or the H indexes. So you can verify this data from the scimajor.com and you'll see the country rankings over there. Now, this is how countries are ranked. Now, your colleges also are included in this country ranking, and how your colleges fare in the publication citations H indexes is what we actually have to understand in this throughout this lecture. So I told you two terms. One is the bibliometrics, and the second one is alt metrics. So alt metrics I've already given you this basically sorry, bibliometrics I've already given you. Alt metrics is what we need to understand. So alt metrics is basically article level metrics. We should understand this term. It measures research visibility in social media and other online platforms, right? So I hope there are many that you are following these days. So how much an article is viewed? Yes, this chart is also there these days. Downloaded, recommended, or discussed on the internet, right? So altmetrics basically tries to answer this particular phenomenon. So measurable items are basically blog posts, comments, tweets, even Wikipedia is taken into this consideration. What is the use of this? That is downloading, viewing, saving, bookmarks, they are all taken into account for when this chart is prepared. So recommendations like you recommend some article, you like it, you share it, you review that, or even the citation counts are taken into consideration. So what websites are involved in this? You know all these terms, but yet again, I'm trying to give you those things. Open access journals, the citation databases, the social media, the researcher visibility services providers like ORCID, Kudos, Researcher ID, Google Scholar, Academia EDU, Mendeley, and there are few more, right? There can be more things added to this. So I'll start with Google Scholar first. Now what I want is I'll just have to uh, switch over to all of you. Right. So what I want from everyone's side is you start talking to me because I will be showing you certain things what I am having, and I would request all of you to work this out, right, parallelly. So this will help you in different scenarios. I assume and I hope everybody knows something about Google Scholar, right? Is it true? I don't know how I can basically talk with you people. Is it through chat, ma'am, or what should I do?
Uh, Ma'am, sir, you just put the questions in the chat box so that they can reply over there.
Okay, no, there are no questions, but I would like to interact with the participants. I'll just try and show the first part that I want them to discuss with me. This is the Google Scholar page. This is how it looks like. So I want to understand how many of you are having this Google Scholar IDs and who are not having it. I believe everyone is having it. So you can write
Yes, sir.
yes or no in the chat box, or you can reply us.
Participants kindly respond and write
Yes,
in the
sir, we are
chat box.
having.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. So I've just shown you mine page, right? And I don't know how many of you are using it effectively for yourself, but this is one of the best criteria to have the citations. You can see it over here. I've opened the chat box also, but no replies coming. Citations, total citations, H index, I-10 index. Now what I'll do is I have to show you this thing over here. So I'll just stop sharing the screen and then I'll open the website over here. Okay. So I hope my screen is now visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Great. And this web page is also visible now.
Yes, sir.
Great. So whenever you write any name, right? So whenever you write any name over here, the first thing that you get normally if you're having a Google Scholar ID is this page, right? So if you see, these are some of the articles that you can see. Even you can do it year wise also. So this is one of the latest articles that have been published as far as I'm concerned. So 24, 23, 22, and the number of citations, H index, I-10 index. Now, the important part, some people might not be knowing. For those people, I want to tell you that you have an option of home page over here. I don't know how many of you know this, right? So there is an option of home page where actually you can put any of the home pages that you are using in your, say, for example, you're using a researcher ID. So what I've done is I've placed my home page as ResearchGate part, right? So whenever I click onto this, what you see is, I hope you're able to see this now.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you see that the page has shifted from the Google Scholar to another page which was linked by me only. right?
Yes.
So here you can put a LinkedIn ID, you can put an Orchid ID, or you can put any other IDs that you are willing to work on, right? So the important part is you can add it here. So those who are not having this particular knowledge or are not using it, they can effectively utilize this homepage part. This is another way to link another website or something where which is holding your citations over here, and then link it with the Google Scholar part. So now what it does automatically is both these websites calculate the citations and H indexes together, right? So I have to log in, I believe. So what I'll do is I'll try and log in into this. Right now, if you see over here, when I click onto your profile, this is what I get, right? So this is calculating it on some other basis. Although the H index is pretty same as far as both Google Scholar and Research ID is concerned, I'll just open it again for you, right? Right. So there are number of things that can be added, and it automatically adds the paper also. Whenever you get a DOI, it adds it. Now, this is a pretty huge community. Researcher Gate is a huge community of people who are trying to exchange information on different papers or on their work, right? So this is talking about different research stats over here, that how many articles I have, how many book chapters, how many conference papers, how many patents, etc., etc., etc. All are divided, and then your citation part and your research interest score. They've changed it to now research interest score. This is what you get, right? So if I click onto the citations over time, you can see the number of citations going up or down, whatever it is. It's I logged in from 2018. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, this is how the graph is going, and 24 is continuing right now. Now you can add your research also. That means published paper, article, book, they're having all the things, right? So you can work this out. Even here, Google Scholar, those who are using it, I am just trying to tell them that how effectively the things can be done. Now, if you go on to this particular part, my profile, my library, metrics, alerts. Now, when you click onto this metrics part, you see the top publications, right, happening around you. Now, I don't know how many of you are actually looking into these sectors, right? And similarly, you can add in your papers into this, right? So I'll just switch over my account to this and then show you how. Oh, I got into something else. Right. So here it is actually not showing clearly, but here an option comes where you can add the papers. Right now, I don't know what is happening. Okay, it might be that I'm logged in with a different ID. That is why this is creating a problem, right? Yeah, that is the problem. So those who are into this, I would request them to just work this out. If there is any problem, right, right. Now it shows, right? So this is the add button over here. So if you see, you can add articles uh, automatically or even manually, right? So when I click onto this add articles, the already published articles which are available on the internet with my name, or even I can just use the last name in my part and then search for these, right? So these are showing that these are in my profile. So if something is not in my profile, I can click onto that and then add it, right? Even I can delete the articles and then work out what I can add. So it is showing me with the last name here, but yeah, this is not mine, right? So I need not add this one. So these are things that you can do it, and you can add the things manually also. I hope everybody is doing it and knows about this very effectively. So if I see, right, this is the first thing that you can use to increase your visibility, right? This is Google Scholar. So the next part is identifiers. Now the point is how to identify different things. I still hope the slide is visible to everybody. So has your name been changed or has your work ever been linked to someone else with same name? I don't know. Have you experienced this or not? Uh, this is a question from my side. Have you ever experienced this kind of a phenomena that your name has changed or your work has been linked to other one? So,
Yes,
so
sir.
in
Yes, sir. I have experienced this.
so in that case, what you did, ma'am? What was the solution that you found out?
Actually, they have given me a notification and I didn't accept that because it was not
Right.
me.
Right. So you normally get these kind of notifications, or whether you're in mail or in some websites that you're using for your research impact part, and then you verify it, right? If you have forgotten or if you miss that mail, again they give you certain time to actually go for the things that whether you published it or you were part of that project or not. And if you don't do it, it is kept in pending, right? But if somebody is using your name, right? Someone might use your name or your research papers. You can even write to the agency that this paper does not belong to that this particular person, or say, for example, the order of the authors is not right. Say, for example, I showed you here that I want to add the paper manually, right? I'll just go back to this particular part over here. Here. Now, add articles manually. In this case, the problem normally happens when you talk about, say, your paper, you write the title, and unknowingly or even knowingly, for some cases, you write your name as the first author, whether it is there in the publication or not, right? So I've seen this happening because people are normally writing their own name and then just saving it. But there might be several authors at different positions. So the author positions is important these days. Hence, you should follow the same criteria, right? If something has been done, you can still report it to the agency or even correct it on your own, right? So then it will show as a star to the other person that yes, there is a problem with this publication that you have added, right? So you can do this very well. So there are conference papers, chapters, books, thesis, patents, even the other part court cases, others happening, right? So this is how you work with Google Scholar profile, right? Now, ma'am, there is somebody who wants to enter the room. If you can allow or you can disallow that person. Message is coming on the screen.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Right. So now I move ahead. I move ahead. Research identifiers, which we need to resolve them. So confusion arising from name changes. I've already given you this factor that how the confusion might be there. Researchers with same name or different ways of writing a person's name. You can choose either an international or a publisher based identifier. Now this is very, very important. Now that is why these days what you normally use is an ORCID ID, right? So I'll just show you that part. Researcher ID or ORCID ID is something that distinguishes you even if you have the same name, right? So the international publisher or the unique digital identifier provider would provide you with this ORCID ID, and it is basically a series of numbers that is given by this particular website, which is called as researcher ID also, right? I don't know how many of you are having it. So what I'll do is I'll just open the chat box, or you can just switch on your mics and tell me how many of you are having this Orchid ID or researcher ID.
I'm having it, sir.
Great. So Akanksha ma'am is having it.
Also having sir.
Great.
I'm also having so.
That's great. That's great. So this is helping you in distinguishing from different persons, even if you have the same ID. So this is the website, the Orchid part, right? Those who are not having it, I can just show you. You can write it orchid.org in your. I'll just go to here. So even if you write ORCID over here, right? You'll be. I hope you are able to see my screen. There's somebody who's talking at the background. Okay. I hope you are still able to see the screen. This is important
Yes,
part
sir.
for
Yes, sir. We are
everybody.
able to see,
Yeah.
sir.
So, right, what you can do is you can use your sign in, whether you're doing it with Google, or you can make sure that you are, if you want, you can create your own login also. What I do is normally use the Google part, right? If you're able to see my screen, you have this number. Now, this is a 16-bit number over here, right? This is the unique number given to your name. Now, this is how your own card or your own digital ID is created, right? Now, here, this is very important part of a researcher. Even for institutes also, this can be done, right? So now what you can do is there are options at this end. If you can see websites and social links, right? That is why I told you this is a practical hands-on session. Those who are not having it, they can go to Orchid, click onto that particular, again, I can show you that, right? And I can just go back over here, right? And you can use your Google login for this, right? So it will provide you immediately with a 16-bit number, this orchid.org, and this will provide you with a unique digital identifier, right? Now, the next important part is you can add your different things onto this. Say, for example, I added my bibliography over here, right? And I can edit it also. Even I can edit my name by clicking onto this. I can edit this all information, right? And even select who can see it. Is it everyone who is allowed to see these things, or trusted parties, or only me, right? So this is basically in your hands. Now the next important thing is the websites and social links that I was talking about, right? So if you see over here, it is having the things where you can add your different parts, right? Say for example, I showed you ResearchGate just few slides back. So now I've created my ResearchGate ID. I write it ResearchGate and I paste the web page over here. So when I do it, my ResearchGate automatically has got linked with the Orchid ID, right? Similarly, LinkedIn, Google Scholar, now Publons has been changed to Web of Science. So you can refer this as Web of Science. Because this is what I am writing, so it is giving me this name of. So when I it just got clicked. So when I click onto either of these, what happens is, if you can see over here, I click onto Google Scholar. So I just showed you this Google Scholar web page. So when I click over here, my Google Scholar web page opens automatically, right? I hope everybody is able to see this.
So,
Next, what happens is, say for example, I click onto this Publons. Basically, this is Web of Science. So when I click onto this, my Web of Science page would also reflect onto the screen. So this is an easy shortcut to link all my websites or all my social links onto one page. There might be some notification coming. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now if you're able to see this, right? This is Web of Science particular thing that I created. Now I'll show you how this can be done, right? If you see, I have other IDs also. I'll show you about these things. But what I'm showing you is this ORCID ID, this 16-bit number. This is a unique web page for me, identifying what my name is and what my affiliation is and what work I have done, right? Here, website and social links and other IDs all can be added together, right? I'll show you about everyone now, one by one. Now, the next important thing that happens over here is you can add your employment where you're working presently and where you worked earlier, right? Secondly, your educational qualifications, if you want to add them, then your professional activities, if you want to add them, any fundings that you have received, and your work. Now, work talks about all your research papers. Now, this gets automatically added also whenever any DOI is issued in your name, having the same ORCID ID, right? So it automatically gets added over, right? So I can show you this lately got added. This is 2024 book chapter. Again, 2024 book chapter. Recently, this thing was published and then it was added over here. I can show you over here more details, right? Show more details. So you can see, right? These have been added automatically by the ORCID part, right? I never added them, but you can add them directly also over here, right? I can select them and I can export them onto a web page. There are so many things that I can do, right? So similarly, the next important part is my reviewer activity. Now, I don't know how many of you are reviewers to different journals, but I am a reviewer to many journals, as you can see over here, right? You can see the list of the journals. So there are SCI journals, mostly there are other journals also. So whatever journals I am reviewing, say for example, for wireless personal communication, I reviewed certain papers for this. Now, whatever reviews have been done by me are automatically added onto this web page. Now, I'm trying to show you how you increase your visibility to other people, right? Right? You can see it over here. For example, say +1. Now, there are 3 reviews that I did. If I click on to show more details, it will show me where and when I did it, and I can go into details also of those things, right? There are so many other things that can be depicted, but this is all about review activity. Say, for example, IEEE transactions, some papers might be pending with me also, but the reviews that I've done, these are the reviews for IEEE transactions on measurement system. Now, this is for intelligent vehicles, right? So similarly, I have not added them. Again, I repeat, I'm not adding it. They automatically get added to my research profile as soon as I submit the review. IEEE access is a huge number, 61 over here. So yes, these are some things, right? So this can improve your research visibility, also add into your own graph, right? I'll show you after this how your graphs are basically being plotted based on this information. Till here, if anybody is having any doubts, because this is a very important web link that everybody should use. Those who are not using it, they are all requested to kindly use it, right? So if anybody is having any problem till here, they are requested to kindly raise their hands or post something into the chat box again. I should open the chat also. Any problems till this point?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So I'll just keep this page open because there are so many things that I have to tell you only through this page. And there are so many IDs that you might not be knowing, but you can do it or make it today only, right? So this was about ORCID. So I'll just skip over this. I've already shown you these things, right? I hope everybody is familiar with this part now. So you can even edit your email into this. Primary emails, secondary emails can be edited, right? And this is how it looks like. So publisher-based research identifiers, one of the research identifiers I've already shown you is ORCID. Another one is provided by Emerald. Another one is provided by Springer, right? So there are so many now, but still the ORCID part is treated as the best part for anybody. Emerald Insight is another one who's providing you a particular insight into your own part. Again, I'll show you this also on our website. This is how it looks like, right? My research profile. And Springer does have this. So I'll be showing you this also. This is how it looks like. So everything that I have done on Springer would be reflected. Say, for example, my publications in the Springer journal, whatever I have published, right? They are being shown over here. The account information is shown over here, right? And the personal data, how many books were published, right? This was one of the books that got published, right? So I'll just show you about these and then I'll move into the other part. This comes after this, researcher visibility. I'll just go back to this web page and I'll add the Springer part first. Say Springer journals, right? So you write Springer or Springer Nature or Springer Link, whatever you want to use, right? You have to create your account into this. So you can go with Google, or if you have an email ID, then definitely you can type that. And so I'm doing it for all of you. I hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Great. So I don't know whether I remember the password correctly or not. I'll just try it out. Let's see that. Okay. So the password is not working for me. Okay, finally, I enter into this password worked. Right now, this is how you see the things happening on your web page. This is the new web page that they have launched. Right? Logged in as the ID that I've used. Your research, manage your account, subscription and purchases are three things that you see over here. But this is the journal thing that you see. Now, these are call for papers which are open now, right? Based on my interests. Trending research topics, which we normally try and search, they are pretty much visible in my account according to my research interests only. If you can see it over here, right? These are different articles which are basically or trending research that is happening, right? So similar to the IEEE that you use, right? I'm not talking about that IEEE part, but this is researcher part. So I'll just go to your research. So when I click onto your research, if you see, these are some of the things that are shown to me, right? Now this paper got rejected. This got accepted. So I should track all the submissions. Right now, if you see over here, these are some of the papers that I have basically sent them. Most of them are basically rejected parts because it is showing, say for example, this one, this got accepted, right? Now, when it got accepted, when I click onto this, I have to, I'm taken to a website onto which the paper got published. But this is Springer Nature in all, right? So whatever papers have been published in Springer using this mail ID, all will be reflected onto a single page of it, right? Because I'm using two mail IDs, so that is basically the problem. I can go to manage my account and linked accounts into this, right? So my Google is linked. I can link my Orchid also. The problem is that my Orchid ID is already linked with another one, so it will show me this error. I'll just show you. Right. Operation not allowed as Orchid account is associated with another email address in our system, right? So this is the problem. Now, these are some of the things that I wanted to show you. There is another mail ID which I am normally using for the Springer part. So I'll show you that also. So you have to create these things, right? Okay, it is showing me something else over here. Oh, sorry. I typed the wrong ID. Right. I believe this password works for this. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now, if you see over here, yeah, this will work. Basically, now this is something. This paper is still awaited for the revision part. Peer reviews, if I have done any, uh, I don't know, it is showing some error on the website only, right? Here is another thing, check performance of your publications, right? So it says that we can't find any publications associated with this account because normally I've used the earlier account only. Connect your publications, I can add it over here by using the DOIs, right? And then it will find the publication, right? Say, for example, I'll just show you. I'm showing you this purposefully so that if somebody is finding any problem in using the accounts, he or she can work out. Say, for example, the recent DOI, I select it over here, right? Let's see whether it finds this out or not. Right? So this is how you get it. Now it might have already added this over here, right? See, now total citations, total accesses, publications. This is how things are happening now. These papers are there for me now, right? This was again in WPC, WPC, WPC. All are WPC, right? Over here. And I have all 21 publications which are over here, right? So if you can see, the things are how many accesses are there. This is what I was talking about. How many citations are there, right? So these are two different things that you see, and then I can update it also. So this was all about Springer. Then I can move ahead to another part where, yes, we were talking about this part. I've shown you the Springer part. There can be other things, right? So now how to increase this? Now this is the most important point. So I've given you where you can make your accounts. Now I have not told you how to increase the visibility. So now the part is researchers can create Google accounts and collect their articles. I've already told you my citation page is there. Right, I'll just open this part. Google Scholar profiles can be made public or private. So I'll make you understand about these two things. If you make it public, then people can see you and then they can also cite you also, right? A list of researchers' own publications can also be published on different websites, as I told you in the ORCID part, right? Statistics of citations. Very interesting. I'll show you how this is done on Web of Science. Then H index of all publications and 5-year H index, you can publish it on your own. Even websites do it for you. I-10 index, and then the institution's performance can also be measured out of this. So SCI Hub or SCI, not SCI Hub, SCI .org is telling you about this, right? So what you need to do is how to improve your visibility now. There are certain things that you can actually talk about effectively. Create your own research identifier, that is the ORCID ID, or live DNA is also one example, but you prefer this only, right? Those who are having it, it's great. Those who are not having it, they can create it right now, right? Use a consistent spelling of your author name. Please be very careful about this. I have faced this issue myself also, but I'm just trying to tell you, use your same spelling names, right? It may create problems in adding the publications. Use the standardized institutional affiliations only. Please follow this when you are uploading your final copyright and your final copy of the paper. choose your publication channels pretty carefully. That is, open access channels are normally they should be preferred, right? Check your own publication information from only the international databases, as I showed you, right? And you can basically also talk to them if there are any errors, or contact them with different informations, right? Discuss your research and share your information in social networking sites. Very important these days. And one of the social networking sites is LinkedIn, that normally these days most of us are using, right? So I'll show you that also. You should join all these social networking sites, which are basically academia.edu, ResearchGate, I've already shown you. LinkedIn, I'll just show you, right? Utilizing the bookmarking with Mendeley. Use this only, right? Forget about Zotero or site you like. Mendeley is the best tool. I can say, I can recommend this for you. I don't know how many of you are using it or not, but this is one of the best tools available for citations and bookmarking, right? Consider communicating this information via researcher or tutor, right? So you can use Twitter also, but Mendeley is one of the most important aspects that you can use in your research publication also, while citing the references, right? So I've already shown you this ResearchGate part. So where I can get this information, now these are some of the journal websites that you normally see. JCR, this is Journal Citation Report Index that is available. Thomson Reuters, one of the most trusted ones for SCI part. And then Eigenfactor, this is what I was talking about, SCI Mago Journal Impact Rank, SJR, right? So whatever journals you see, the rankings can be seen. I'll show you over here. Then we talk about the H index, whether it is Scopus, Web of Science, or it is Google Scholar, or any other, right? So publish or perish is the word. Either you publish while you are in education field, or nobody will see you, right? So you have to be visible to everybody. So this chart basically talks about your H index growth, how it grows, right? So normally it will grow because you will publish the things and then people would cite it. So what you can do is you can create your ORCID ID, Google Scholar ID, even Live DNA. I've not shown it. And most importantly, your elsewhere ID also. Right. I'll just show you this now. So what I'll do is I'll go back. So till here, if there are any questions, I've shown you a lot of things now. If there are any questions from your side, you are most welcome to ask them.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
So this is Shivangi, sir, lecturer from Chitkara University College of Nursing.
very good.
Thank you so much, sir, for having this detailed presentation. All the parameters were included in this. I have so one doubt. You've shown it also, but I couldn't get it accurately. So
Right,
you showed that review activity, sir, in the ORCID account.
right, right.
So, sir, like I have a query. If it is not showing, if it is not coming in my ID, if you
Hmm.
have reviewed some journal, then how can you add it? So,
Very easy to add it. I'll just show you over here. I'll have to go down. So now there are peer reviews, if you can see it over here, right?
yes, sir.
So now you're saying that you have reviewed a particular journal,
Yes, sir.
but your activity is not being recorded. It is
Yes,
happening
yes,
with
yes, sir.
me also, because now I showed you the problem. That problem was self-created from my side only. What I did was I have linked my ORCID ID with a particular mail ID, right? Now the problem is that I am unable to link it with the other part. So now when I try to do it, I'll just show you that part also. I'm still not able to do it because that ORCID ID is already linked with my particular mail. That is the mail that I was using earlier. Now I want to shift over from one mail to the other. I
Okay.
tried to do it. I'll show you. I tried to do that also. I did what? I used both the mails that I was using. You can see it over here now, right?
Yes, sir.
You can see it, primary email and secondary email. I
Secondary.
tried to switch over them.
Okay.
But the problem was some of the accounts where I have created my account. Now, this is the problem of their servers. Say, for example, I was reviewing for IEEE transactions. So there I mentioned this account associated with my ORCID ID, right? And on IEEE transaction, on vehicular transaction, I mentioned this part as my primary mail, right? When I tried to use the mail, same ORCID ID, it showed me, because it was IEEE transactions only, it showed me that this is already linked with this mail. So you are not allowed to do this. So this was self-created and there is no solution. Now the point where the solution lies is, I'll tell you that also. It might not be able to enter it in this particular website, but in Web of Science, I'll show you after this. In Web of Science, I can add that manually also, right? It is not possible to add it in ORCID because this is linked with a particular mail only. Remember this. This is a single digital identifier. So
Okay.
once it gets associated with a particular thing, I will not be able to do it. I hope you followed now.
Yes, sir. I got. So one more thing was there.
Yeah,
So like in your ID, it is X in the end, sir.
yeah.
So, sir, like, is it like some distinction is there between these IDs, or it's
No. This is basically a numeric number that they used while creating it. It might
okay,
be there also.
okay, sir.
Oh, this has nothing to do with some distinguishing done. This is just a number.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, sir.
Yeah. So now I'll tell you one more thing. There are certain things where you can add it. Now these are professional activities. I'll give you a solution to this also. I will be doing it also on my own because I was searching about these things. Professional activities you can add, right?
Yes.
So here you can add certain distinction and membership also. For example, I have an IEEE membership. I should add it. For example, I have an IETE membership. I should add it over here, right? So you can add different other things in your work also, right? But the review part is a problem. They have not provided an add button in this. If there would have been an addition button over here, then these reviews can also be verified and added, right? So this is normally happening in the next part that I'm just trying to show you. This happens with me in elsewhere very oftenly because of my mistake only. When I created the accounts, I actually created it using two different IDs, and then the problem happened. But there is a solution to that also. The unfortunate part is in ORCID, it cannot be basically connected together. I'll just show you. I don't know you are having an elsewhere ID or not, but you should see this very carefully. I'll just show you this thing. So sorry, I should write only elsewhere and then log in. Right now, if you see over here, you go to this. They have just changed this page, right? They've just changed this page a lot. Now, when I click onto this, there are certain things for authors, for editors, for reviews. I hope you're able to see this.
Yes,
I
sir.
just forgot to ask. Right. Say, for example, I want to go onto authors and I want to submit this paper, some paper onto a particular journal, right? So it has an option of find a journal, prepare a paper. There are certain guidelines over here, right? Revise, track, share, and promote. These are certain things that are available with us. Now, what I'll do is I'll just try and find out the login part. I'll just change it. It was okay. I have to go here. So this is basically also referred as Scopus for me. So this is scopus.com, basically, which I am searching for. What I'll do is I'll write this Scopus only. Yeah, scopus.com. Yeah, here it comes. Now, if you see, when you write it over here, those who are not having this ID, they should create it. Now, this particular web page is very, very important for the institution as well as for you people. Now, if you see over here, this is Scopus, where you can check the journal, where you can check the other things also, whether your paper is Scopus indexed or not. So what you can do is, you can click onto this view your author profile, or you can go to this particular point where it is mentioned as institution. Right now, I don't have the institutional access. I don't know, many of you might be having it. I hope Chitkara University has it. I'm not particularly sure about that. But my university is not having it. So what I have you option is, I'll search it by my last name, right? So when I type the last name over here, you can see it will show me the profiles. Now, it is showing me only single profile because I assume my last name is not common with anybody else. Now, when I click onto this particular thing, you see my profile over here. You see a Scopus, another Scopus ID over here. Now, I think Shivangi was asking me this, right? So
Yes.
particularly to her, I should tell you, this is another digital identification number that I have got now. As soon as I register onto scopus.com, this is one of the other numbers that I get, right? It is different than this number. Now you can very well see it. The ORCID number is also here, and the Scopus ID is also here. So whatever papers have been indexed in Scopus, only Scopus, remember this, will be mentioned over here. There is a difference of papers which are indexed or which are placed over here. Now, if you can see it, I can show you the difference. There are 90 papers in this ORCID ID. You can see it, right? 90 documents. But as far as Scopus is concerned, that itself shows only 41 documents have been indexed in Scopus for me. The H index based on those documents is given over here, right? If I would have the institutional access, I would have seen view all metrics also. This is not available for me. What I can see is last 10 documents over here. Last 10 documents. The latest one will be mentioned. This is preface. This was one of the books that has been just published, right? So it is showing me. It automatically got added. I have not added it. It has been added automatically by Scopus because the book was indexed in the Scopus, right?
Yes, sir.
And it identified me by this researcher ID. I hope you are following this now.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you, sir.
this is free. This is free of cost for everybody. All the things that I've shown you is free. The most important part is I have still not logged in. Just analyze the thing. I am not logged in. It is still saying me sign in. I could have searched anybody's profile. Say, for example, Shivangi, do you have a Scopus profile?
Sir, I am not remembering much. I only have a
Okay.
ORCID ID.
Anybody who can just say his or her name. I can just show you. Anyone who's having a Scopus profile, his or her last name. We'll just search that.
Yes, sir.
We'll just search it. Anybody in the session, I'm asking. Anyone who can just tell me his or her last name, or I'll have to search. In the chat box, somebody who's having their Scopus profile can write.
Yeah, sir. Like Navjot Kaur, sir. I don't know. She was my guide, so I'll
Okay,
just give
okay.
it a try.
For example, say you said Navjot. Navjot. All right, Navjot over here. It will show me something. I don't know what it will show me, but you can
Kaur, sir.
okay, I'll have to enter the last name. Right.
Yes, sir.
Now you see over here, you can very well see it over here. There are so many Navjot cores. Right? That is what I was trying to tell you. So I don't know your guide was from which place.
Sir, the affiliation now will be showing current one or which one, sir? Like,
Whatever she has updated. Say, for
okay.
example, click onto this only. Punjab University, Patiala. You see it over here. Right. So Navjot Kaur, Punjabi University, Patiala, 103 citations, 25 documents, and H index. You can see it for anybody. I'm just saying you this. You can see it for anybody. The important part, again, I tell you over here is I have not still signed in. So now what I'm doing is I'll click onto this button, sign in, and I will sign in into my account. Right. Oh, this password problem is pretty difficult to handle. I still don't know whether I've typed it correctly or not. Okay, yeah. So now if you see, I'll just move this over here. View my author profile. Right, now it is showing me certain things. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Earlier, it was just showing me my name, university name, my author ID, etc., and then how many documents I had. But if you see, now it is showing me the metrics also. 2012 was the first paper that I got published in Scopus. How many citations were there? Then there were no citations in the meantime. Then it rose to 111 in the best time, and then 52 this time, right? And there are documents over it. Another important part is author position based on 25 selected documents from 2013 to 22. It is taking the complete year scenario, right? So this is some bifurcation that has been done by Scopus on its own. I have not done it. You can see the percentage coming over, right? This is how the average things are computed, right? You can just slide down all these and see, right? I hope you understood what I'm trying to tell you now over here.
Yes, sir.
So this can be done for institution also. Say, for example, Chitkara University, right? So you have to go to this institutional login, right? And then you can see the university where it ranks, how many documents, how many H index, and what is the other things, right? So this can be done for the university part also. So now what I did was, again, I'll tell you one more thing. Here, if you see, there are two IDs. Now this is Scopus ID and this is Orchid ID.
Okay.
So what I did was I copied these two things into my Orchid ID over here. I hope you're able to see this. Other IDs,
Yes, sir.
there is Scopus author ID and this is researcher ID, right? Then there is one more thing. I don't know how much time I have with me or not, but when I click onto this edit profile over here, there is option that I can merge two mail accounts together. So this is what I have done, right? Also, there are different reviews that I've done for different journals. There are certain papers which are being shown over here because this is author, not reviewer. So it is showing me author profile only, right? It will not show me the reviewer profile because I published using this also. So there are two institutions added to me. I hope you followed this.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Right, right, right. Now, the next important part is, I'll just quickly go through it because I don't know whether I'll be able to complete the things or not. Ma'am, how much time is left? You can just guide me out.
Sir, we are running with the time, sir.
Okay, I'll just quickly tell you. I've just shown you these things, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the last part that I wanted to show you was this Vidwan ID. I don't know how many of you are having it. Are you having it? Anybody who can just say. If you're
No,
not
sir.
having it, I'll just show you. You write Vidwan. Now, this is something which is being run by Government of India, and you should all have it. Right? You should all have it. Oh, I clicked on the wrong page. Now, this is Vidwan profile page over here. I'll just quickly tell you about this. This is also, this has to be done by you people. Normally, it takes a lot of time to open. This is how it looks like, right? I'll just show you in the presentation. And this ID is created by MHRD now, right? Ministry of Human Resource Development introduced this particular thing for all of us. And you should all have it. I don't know how many of you are having it. If you are not having it, I again repeat, go to this site called as vidwan.inflibinet.ac.in. This is not working right now. Might be the website is down. Yeah, it's not working. Mhm. Okay, fine enough. You can go on this web page and you can create your own ID. I could have shown you a lot more things over here. You can add all your publications through bibliometric sheet only, right? You export all the data from Google Scholar. You export all the data like this, export to BibTeX or CSV, and then you upload onto this Vidwan. So it will take automatically. You don't have to add it manually, right? So you have another digital identifier by Vidwan. So please go today and just make this ID. I don't know why this is not opening. I'll move ahead. The last part is this Mendeley part. I don't know how many of you are using this, but this is one of the most important tools to be used as far as any research part is concerned. Mendeley has to be utilized for many purposes, right? So you can go to the website called as mendeley.com. Oh, it opened. So this has opened with one. Now, here is the login part. That is taking some time. Now, this website is down, I believe, no problems. I'll just quickly go about this. Mendeley is the tool that I'm talking about. This is reference management software over here. Again, being managed by Scopus, right? So you can create your own account in this. All the Scopus databases will be covered over here, right? Say, for example, I write my name only. Oh, keyboard is also not working correctly. Right, now it shows me year-wise how many papers are there in Scopus, journals, year-wise, journals, conference proceedings, uh, book sections, etc., 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 etc. Who are my co-authors, right? Everything. So yes, here it is. My name comes over and then the support center. So Mendeley is a tool. Again, it provides you with different aspects. This is basically for software for referencing part. Last part is this Web of Science. Now, again, yeah, I'll just go to this Web of Science only. WOS, right? I just clicked onto my profile only, so it has opened it. What you can all do is you can go to sign in. I'll just show you. Cleverate is what it is using, and I sign in using my Google account only, right? So I have to give permission to this. Oh, I think I am using this one. Okay. So see, I've tried to tell you, yeah, this opens now. This is a very interesting part. Now what Shivangi was asking, that how to add review papers, there is an option over here, right? So in this Web of Science, you can add your reviews, the papers that you have reviewed. This is peer review over here, right? And here is the manage button. I hope you have understood now, Shivangi.
Yes, sir.
Add a review. Even those reviews which are not going to be added by the ORCID profile, you can add it over here. Right? So this is Web of Science, which provides you this particular free of cost again analysis. But this is only talking about papers who were published and listed in Web of Science and were referenced in Web of Science only. Remember this fact. It is not including the Scopus part. Right? And there is a very interesting option available, export your CV. So whatever you have added, all the papers plus your peer reviews. Export your CV is a very simple click over here. You have to just give the range from which date you want, what file format you want, right? You want to include Web of Science, ORCID. Actually, these are not available because I'm not using the paid version. I'm using a free version, right? So otherwise, I could have used it. Now, there are so many metrics. I'll just show you how easy, and on one single click, this can download my CV. I'll just show you. So I just clicked on to download my profile. So this is all about Web of Science. So these charts will be, yeah, now it is downloaded. Now you can see my CV was created by it, right? I have done nothing. I have written nothing. I've just added my information and this CV got created. So prediction, impact over time, all my journals where I was a reviewer, whether the papers published have been indexed in Web of Science or not, all of the things are mentioned with their DOIs. I have nothing to do with this. Review summaries, the reviews that I've done, again I repeat, right? You can see them. So everything is added. This is a very beautiful web page where even you can add different other things. I don't have much time to tell you about this, but it has created all the things. Whatever papers I reviewed, even I don't remember. Frankly speaking, I never remember those things, right? But it is telling me the date as well as the journal, right? So you can put this on your LinkedIn profile. Your visibility automatically increases because of these things. I hope I am of some help to all of you. I don't know. This is the last thing that I have to tell you. LinkedIn profile. I hope everybody is using it, right? Last part was about patents. I'll quickly go through it. I don't know why I just spend the time. Is who can apply? Everybody can apply. Don't worry about this. This is something which normally people ask, so I can tell you, anybody can apply for this, right? Where to apply? Now there are 4 branches: Mumbai, Chennai, New Delhi, and Kolkata, right? These are 4 branches where you can apply the patent part. Patent specifications normally are given where, why, how, what, when, and this is a filing procedure. I have to quickly go through this. I don't know. We don't have much time, I know, right? So there are certain things which is called as early publication. When you file a patent application, they ask you. There's a fee to this, right? Then a pre-grant publication or a publication after 18 months. Request for examinations, the next part. The examination report received and response given to the office. If there are any objections, the FER has to be filed, the first examination report as we call them, and then if they are satisfied, patent is granted. Otherwise, again, next FER comes. Then there is a post-grant publication and then renewal part, right? So this is the entire process. I'm quickly going through it. How to apply? Yes, you have to find an agent before applying it. You cannot do it on your own, right? There has to be an agent which helps you out. Then you have to request for the examination. Normally people say that I have filed the patent, it got published, and now it will be examined. No, you have to pay the fee for examination also, right? Then there are certain objections which are raised. I told you there will be some objections which will be raised by the patent authority, and then the FER has to be filed on the basis of the objection raised, right? Within 12 months. Remember this. I've written over here. I'll share this slide with all of you, no problems, right? Then if the team finds it good, you get a grant certificate, right? Duration of the patent normally is 20 years from the date of filing. Remember this. It is 20 years from date of filing, right? It is not from date of grant. Remember this part. So this is my information. I have quickly tried to tell you about how to increase the visibility. Your visibility means your college visibility also, right?